So today's topic is based on the techniques for bandwidth utilization. So all of you know about the multiplexing technique. So frequency division, multiplexing, time division, multiplexing, wave division. So you are familiar with this term, I think so. So now review some of this technique with context with this data communication and networks. So multiplexing means that is the set of techniques that allows the simultaneous transmission of multiple signals across a single data link. Okay, now why it is so needed? Because as data and telecommunication usage are so increased, there will be so many traffic. Now we can accommodate this increment by continuing to add individual lines each time when a new channel is needed to connect with this, or we can install higher bandwidth links and use each to carry multiple signals. Okay. Now, today's technology includes high bandwidth media such as I have already told you the optical fiber and terrestrial and satellite microwaves. So each of these has a bandwidth far in excess of that needed for the average transmission signal. Now, if the bandwidth of a link that is greater than the bandwidth needs of the device which is connected to it, the bandwidth is wasted. So an efficient system which maximizes the utilization of all bandwidths, that is one of the resources, the most precious resources we have in data communications. Okay, so in a multiplex system, uh, suppose n lines are there. Okay, so n lines share this bandwidth of one link. Now this is the basic technique of multiplication, this figure. Now the four lines here, that is so their transmission streams to a multiplexer that is connected over here, which combines them into a single stream. That means many to one. That is the basic principle of a multiplexer. So at the receiving side, this stream is fed into a demultiplexer or demux, which separates the stream back into its component transmissions, means one to many, and directs them to their corresponding lines. Okay, so here this word link means the physical path. Okay, and the word channel, this refers to the portion of a link that carries a transmission between a given pair of lines. Now one link have many channels, like n number of channels may be there. So signals are multiplexed by one of the three basic techniques: frequency division multiplexing, wave division multiplexing, and time division multiplexing. Now this is the classification of the multiplexing technique, where these two, FDM and WDM, wave division multiplexing, is under this analog category, and TDM is the digital one. So move on to the next slide to explain the end of each of them. Frequency division multiplexing, or FDM. Now this is an analog technique that can be applied when the bandwidth of a link that is greater than the combined bandwidth of the signals that is to be transmitted. Now, in this case, signals generated by each sending device, this modulate different carrier frequencies. Now, these modulated signals are then combined into a single composite signal that can be transported by the link. Now, carrier frequencies are uh, separated by sufficient bandwidth to accommodate the modulated signals, and these bandwidth ranges are the channels through which the various signals can be traveled from one sending to the receiving end. These channels that can be separated by strips of unused bandwidth guard. Okay, why this is used? Because to overcome the problem of overlapping. In addition, these carrier frequencies must not interfere with the original data frequencies. Okay. So here the transmission path is divided into 3 parts, each representing a channel, channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, which carries one transmission. Now, we consider FDM, that is to be analog multiplexing technique. So this doesn't mean that FDM cannot be used to combine sources sending digital signals. So a digital signal that can be converted to an analog signal before FDM is used to multiplex them. Okay. Now, there are two techniques. One is the multiplexing process and another is the demultiplexing process. Okay. So, sorry. So here telephone lines are used as input devices. On the left hand side figure, you can see it there. So each telephone generates a signal of a similar frequency range. Inside the multiplexer, these similar signals are modulated onto different carrier frequencies like F1, F2, F3. Okay, and the resulting modulated signal are then combined into a single composite signal that is sent out over the media link that has enough bandwidth to accommodate it. Now, in case of demultiplexing process, it uses a series of filters to decompose the multiplex signal into its constituent component signal. Now, the individual signals are then passed to a demodulator, and this demodulator separates them from their carriers and passes them to the waiting receivers. Those are connected over their ending point, receiving end point. So there are certain applications of FDM, like it is used. So a very common application is in AM radio or FM radio broadcasting. Now, a radio uses the air as the transmission medium. Now, a special band, which is suppose some kilohertz range, that is assigned to the AM radio. Now, all radio stations need to share this band. Now, each AM station needs some kilohertz of bandwidth, and each station uses a different carrier frequency, which means it is shifting its signal and multiplexed. The signal which goes to the ear, that is a combination of all signals. Now, a receiver receives these signals, but filters only the one which is desired. So without multiplexing, only one AM station could broadcast to the common link, the ear. Now, this situation, same with the FM broadcasting, radio broadcasting also. But FM, in case of FM radio broadcasting, it uses a wider band from some megahertz range, because each station needs more bandwidth. Each station needs suppose 100 kilohertz. So that is to be used by the FM radio broadcasting. And another common use of FDM is in television broadcasting. So each TV channel has its own bandwidth of some megahertz range. So these are the applications of frequency division multiplexing technique. Now coming to the next one, which is the wave division multiplexing. So it is actually designed to use the high data rate capability of fiber optic cable. Okay, the optical fiber data rate is higher than the data rate of metallic transmission cable. So using a fiber optic cable for one single line, it weighs the available bandwidth. So multiplexing allows us to combine these several lines into one. So here WDM is wave division multiplexing, that is more or less same with the FDM, except that the multiplexing and demultiplexing involve optical signals transmitted through the fiber optic channels in the WDM technique. And another difference is here very high frequencies are used. Okay. And so at the receiving side, the signals are same as the separated by a demultiplexer. Okay. So the basic idea, it is related to the light properties, which you have already read in physics. So we want to combine multiple light sources into one single light at the multiplexer, and to the reverse at the demultiplexer. Now the combining and splitting of light sources are easily handled by this type of prism. Okay. So a prism bends a beam of light based on the angle of incidence and the frequency. Now, using this technique, a multiplexer that can be made to combine several input beams of light, each containing a narrow band of frequencies, into one output beam of a wider band of frequencies. Okay, and a demultiplexer at the receiving side that can also be made to reverse this process. So that is, so you can see on the right hand side figure, the multiplexer and demultiplexers are used with the that is to be connected via this fiber optic cable. So WDM technique is used in this way. Now there is an application where WDM, wave division multiplexing, can be used. So it is used in the SONET network. SONET means the synchronous optical network. Okay. So it is a SONET, basically it is a name for a standard family of interfaces for high speed optical links. Next, coming to the time division multiplexing technique, where it's a digital technique that allows several connections to share the high bandwidth of the link. Now, instead of sharing a portion of the bandwidth, as in case that is happened in frequency division multiplexing, here time is shared. That's why it is named as time division multiplexing. Now, each connection that occupies a portion of time in the link. So here the same link is used as it is here it is the same link is used in FDM technique, but here it is not. So the link is here shared or given by the time. It is given or represented by the time rather than frequency. So here the portion of signals 1, 2, 3, 4, these are occupies the link sequentially. And one thing you have to remember, that we are concerned about the multiplexing, not the switching technique. So this means that all the data in a message from source 1 always go to the one specific destination, be it 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now the delivery is fixed and unvarying. And here we also need to remember that TDM technique, that is digital multiplexing technique. So digital data from different sources are combined into one time shared link. Okay, so that doesn't mean that the source cannot produce the analog data. Analog data can be sampled, changed to digital data, and then multiplexed by using this TDM technique. So in TDM, there are certain parameters like time slots and frames are there. So you must be familiar with these terms, interleaving like this. So for time slots and frame, here is a diagram. So in this technique, this TDM technique, the data flow of each input connection is divided into units, where each input occupies one input time slot. Now, a unit can be 1 bit, or it can be one character, or can be a block of data, one block of data. So each input that is becomes one output, that becomes one output unit and occupies one output time slot. The duration of an output time slot, suppose n times, it is n times is given, then n times shorter than the duration of an input time slot. In other words, we can say it like a unit in the output connection that has a shorter duration, it travels faster. Okay, so here the data rate of the output link, that must be n times the data rate of a connection to flow of, to make the flow of data. Okay, so here the data rate, suppose, so it is in this figure, the data rate of the link is 3 times the data rate of the connection. So the duration of a unit on a connection is 3 times that of the time slot. Okay, so we present here the data prior to multiplexing as 3 times the size of the data after multiplexing. So this is just to convey the idea that each unit is 3 times longer in duration before multiplexing than after. So time slots are grouped into some frames. So a frame that is consist of one complete cycle of time slots with one slot dedicated to each sending device. Now, in a system with suppose n input lines, so each frame has n slots, with each slot allocated to carrying the data from a specific input line. Okay, like the first this one as A3, B3, C3, like this, and then A2, B2, then A1, C1. So here each frame is 3 time slots. Okay, each time slot duration is t seconds. It is given here. Now, what is interleaving? In this, so interleaving, if this one is this in this technique, like the same thing, this figure is converted into an interleaving technique by using 2 fast rotating switches, this one and this one. Now, one on the, this is the multiplexing side, this is the demultiplexing side. Now the switches, these are synchronized and rotate at the same speed but in opposite direction. Okay, so on the multiplexing side, as the switch opens in front of a connection, that connection has the opportunity to send a unit onto a path. Now this process is called the interleaving technique. Now on the demultiplexing side, what happened, as the switch opens in front of a connection, that connection has an opportunity to receive a unit from this path. Okay, so that's all for today. Multiplexing, different multiplexing technique. If you have any question, you can ask me now.